everybody, it is Julie. Welcome back to Pages and Pens. Today we are here to talk about Ancrum. Let's jump right into it. For those of you that know me, you know that I read and loved The Wicker King when it was picked by the Dragons and Tea book club. I always want to say Dragons and Tea Society. That's a graphic novel. The Dragons and Tea book club for their January pick. This book blew me away, and I do have like a full review on Goodreads, which I will link down below. I recently read the arc of Way to the Stars by Ancrum. This one comes out March 19th, I believe, and I loved it as well. I tabbed it up, I annotated it. Like, this has so many tabs in it, it's hard to see because of the patterning on the side here. This book clearly has a ton of tabs in it. I have fallen so in love with Kayla and her writing. It is so phenomenal. I'm here today basically to talk to you about what I think is so different about Kayla's writing, what I think is so outstanding about it, and her characters, and the way that she approaches writing. I have struggled to find words for how to write a review on this. This is going to be a little bit of a stand-in for a review on this while I just try to like gather myself to go actually write the physical review, because I am so in love with the way that Kayla crafts the story. The Wicker King follows August and Jack is struggling with his reality. He's seeing things layered over our world. He has no idea what's real and what's not, and August tries to help him navigate that. They have a very codependent relationship. They both suffer from neglect from parents. They both suffer from their own like mental health issues, and then they're trying to help one another through those in this beautiful, complex, super flawed, really nuanced way. The way that Kayla puts the story together so intentionally. I said it before in my review, and I'll say it again, but Kayla also was kind enough to come into the buddy read group on Goodreads, answer all of our questions, talk to everybody about her writing process, her research process, where this book came from, why she wrote it, what it meant to her. It has got to be one of the most stunning contemporaries I've ever read. One of the reasons why I feel like it worked so well for me is the format in which it's written. I'll go over that really quickly. Basically, you do have a little bit of mixed media in this novel. You also have incredibly short chapters. So this is a little bit of mixed media. This is a chapter. The chapter ends here. There's more mixed media. You have a chapter here, a chapter here. They keep you turning the page. The breakdown of chapters makes sense, automatically drawing you into the next chapter. She is genius in the way that she constructs the story so that you don't want to put it down, so that every time there was a page break in the reading, you were like, no, I can't. I have to keep going. And it was a look at mental health that I hadn't really seen before. Like, I'm not going to go into any spoileries. I'm not going to like talk about anything like that. But the way that the book was constructed, physically with the short chapters and the mixed media, the growing darkness of the pages as Jack's mental health declined. There's a page in this that broke me where I had to stop and I cried my goddamn eyes out. It's just a page that says brave, and then down here in the scratch it says someone fucking help me. It's such an indicator of mental health, where like outwardly the main focus of that page is the word brave, and you're moving on and you're moving forward, but like underneath that chicken scratch and in the margins, it's just someone help me. Someone come and take some of this burden for me. I can't do it anymore. I can't do it alone. I'm drowning. By no means is this my story, but I saw myself in so much of this. I saw my own mental health reflected in so much of this. Unhealthy friendships that I've had in the past in so much of this. I cried so much, but I also felt and I laughed and I rolled my eyes. There are a friend group that is like super troubled, and like everyone's kind of like mismatched, but they all care really deeply for one another. Even though they're a little bit misunderstood by the larger population, these guys really understand one another, and it was so heartwarming. You root for these two even though they're so broken and so bad for each other sometimes. Honestly, I can't say enough about it. Here's the thing though. I understand why this isn't everybody's cup of tea. It does have a very magical realism-ish component to it because Jack is losing focus on what is reality and what isn't. he is seeing this made-up, fictionalized world on top of ours. So you're getting a lot of interaction with things that don't make any sense, that seem very fantastical, very magical realism-y. So if that's not your thing, you're probably not going to be able to look past it at the nuances of the relationship that are discussed within this fantasy world. And I totally understand that. Here's where I think Kayla did something brilliant with The Weight of the Stars. This book does not have any of that fantasy element. If anything, this is more sci-fi based. However, Kayla herself has described this as a contemporary with science aspects. I will say this has a futuristic sci-fi vibe to it because in this, one of our main characters, Alexandria, her mother has signed up for a one-way trip out into space. Less for science and more for the people to let them see through her eyes what the world is like beyond the reaches of anything we've ever known. She's out past Pluto. She is in deep freaking space, and that kind of travel is possible in this book. In that way, it is a sci-fi. However, this is really a story that follows two girls and a friend group that are based very much here on Earth. Ridiculously diverse, so gorgeously crafted. I think that if you like a group of kids who have had everything stacked against them, nothing has gone their way, but they're still persevering, and they form this like ragtag, kind of volatile at times group of friends, this is your freaking book. If you like things like Illuminae and space travel, things like that, you're gonna really love this book. If you like hard-hitting contemporaries that will freaking break your soul, you're gonna love this book. If you like diverse characters with representation for queer, for select mutism, for different kinds of like familial traumas and familial relationships, you're gonna love this book. We have two main characters in this, Ryan Bird and Alexandria something, I forget her last name. But Ryan and Alex are two like main characters, but Ryan has a ton on her shoulders. Her parents have died. She's got her 16-year-old brother Jamie living with her, and Jamie's son, who is like 1 year old. And Jamie, her brother, is a select mute. He stopped talking after their parents' death and just does not talk anymore. On Ryan's shoulders is the weight of supporting her brother, supporting this child that is now in their life, and then she also kind of leads this group of really troubled kids who have all found a home in the comfort and protection that she kind of offers them within her high school. And then Alexandria, whose mother has gone off to space and left her as an infant, and she's now lives with her dad, who is very paranoid and very protective and very cautious with her because she's all he's got. There's a lot of intrigue that goes into the science and her mom leaving. There's a lot of trauma that is kind of unpacked in this because Ryan and Jamie's parents have died, because Alexandria's mother has chosen to leave Earth forever and leave her behind, and she basically spends every single night up on her roof with a little radio transmitter trying to receive messages from her mother. And then Alexandria is injured and she goes into the hospital. She's there for a while and she can't get these messages, and Ryan in a way tries to go up onto the roof and obtain these messages so that nothing is missed. And it's kind of her penance for being kind of shitty to Alex when Alex first shows up at the school. The two of them form a friendship, and Alex is welcomed into this friend group. I think it's universally more appealing and more relatable and more readable than The Wicker King. I am not a big sci-fi person, but when you put the main message of this sci-fi, which is just basically somebody choosing to leave the world they've known for an unknown factor, and they can never come back. And this decision was made when they were 17 years old. The flight crew that went out on this mission with Alex's mom is all 17 to 18-year-old girls. They made a decision that they were not adult enough to really understand, and then there's no turning back. They are out there forever. The repercussions of that are staggering on those that are left behind, and for the most part they were chosen because they didn't have people to leave behind, but Alex was left behind, and it really impacts her. And Ryan and Alex's relationship is not one that's immediately built on trust. It is hate to friendship. It is slow burn. There's a lot of building of trust. There's realistic friend groups. And again, because of the way that her chapters are structured, you fly through it. You don't want to put it down. It is so compelling and so heartbreaking. I have a picture of just how warped these pages are. These pages at the end of the book are warped like that because I cried so hard onto them. There's all of my tabs that you can see. I don't think I've ever cried this hard at a book. I was inconsolable for hours. I still have not written a review weeks after reading it because I don't know how to put into words what I feel about this book or what makes Kayla so special. But she writes so beautifully about mental health, about tragedy, about coping, about so many things in life that are really, really hard to put into words. And she does it so well with characters that are so flawed that you can't help but relate and see yourself in them. That's what makes it so painful when you see what's happening to these characters. I will also say, not only did she come into the Goodreads group and read every question that we had about this book and answer them all so eloquently and so beautifully. I will list the Goodreads group for the Dragons and Tea book club because it's still up. Like, if you want to go read through everything she had to say about this book, please do it after you've read the book, but go and listen to the way that she speaks about writing and this book. It is stunning. Not only was she kind enough to do that, but she also wants everybody who wants to read this book to be able to read this book. She has publicly said that if you want an ARC of this book, her email address is in her Twitter profile. You can email her. She will send you an ARC. No questions asked. She wants people to have access to her books. I was lucky enough to get a physical copy, obviously, from the publishers. She was so kind about sending out that ebook. Also tweeted out like, hey, I've been looking at pre-orders for this book. I haven't found anywhere where I can get it signed and personalized. I love this book. I want it signed and personalized. Do you know if that's going to happen? She said, right now, I don't know. I'm working with my publishers. However, if at the time of publication, there's not an option for that, email me and I will send you a signed personalized copy. What kind of book angel is she? She is so ridiculously kind. I'm going to tear up, like legitimately tear up, because I just don't know. I don't know that I can ever craft a book the way that she crafts these books. It is so innovative. It is so genius. It pulls on your emotions. It connects with me in a way that no other writer has been able to do. It takes the best and worst of people and puts it in a book in a way that is so unique and so brave and so freaking smart, is so diverse and so inclusive and so gorgeous that I was left absolutely speechless. Kay Ancrum is going to be an auto-buy author for me. If she puts it out, I will read it 1000%, no questions asked. Second of all, she's possibly the kindest, most down-to-earth author I've ever encountered. She is a freaking genius. Like, she's actually really interested in space. Like, she's a brilliant woman. She writes in a way that I've never seen somebody else write. And it connects with me and works with me on like a visceral, soul deep level. I just have never encountered an author like her, a writing style like this, characters like these, or a connection to me that's so soul deep that isn't actually my own story. There's a way that these characters in these stories like crawl into you and they will stay with me forever. These two books are going to be so important to me, and you will hear me talk about these over and over and over again, and I hope and pray that the next book that she comes out with will be the same. This has been sitting face out in front of the Wicket Deep since I finished reading it. It is by far and away my new favorite book. It takes everything I love about the Serpent King, about This Adventure Ends, about small town life, about socioeconomic status, about people living in a trailer park from the Serpent King that I loved, and puts it into this book. It takes the friend group and the like relationships and the real raw discussions and arguments that happen in This Adventure Ends and puts them in this book. It puts the mental health and the darkness from the Wicker King and puts it in this book. It takes the best part of like Illuminae and the space relatability that I enjoy and puts it in this book. It puts the most heartbreaking, heartwarming, amazing, tragic, flawed, beautiful characters I've ever read and puts it in this book. 1000% my new favorite book. I will reread this over and over again. So if you want to read it and it's not out yet and this hasn't gone out by March 19th, email Kayla. If you feel like supporting this author whom I love and adore, pre-order this book. I will be pre-ordering it, and then if I can't find signed options, I will still be emailing her because I want to support her by buying it. I don't want her to just send it to me. I want to support her as an author. She's been kind enough to send this out free to so many people. I hope those people then go and support her by buying the book physically. I can't speak highly enough about Kayla Ancrum, about Kay Ancrum. She is a beautiful soul, a beautiful human being, and my new favorite author. I'm going to speak about these a whole lot, so you're going to be really, really sick of it soon. But I wanted a video dedicated to her because I just don't have words to articulate how she like got her hooks in me, but she has, and I will forever support her. Hopefully this has not been too niche of a video. Hopefully you appreciate it. Hopefully you will take my recommendation and go check these books out. If this didn't seem like it was going to be your cup of tea because it was a little bit too fantasy based, for the love of all things, if you've trusted any of my recommendations in the past, please go read this book. Please. And if you do, please message me and let me know what you think about it. Please talk to me about it. I want to talk to people about this book. That's been it for this video. If you liked it, please do give me a big thumbs up, click subscribe, and I will talk to all of you in the next video. Bye, guys.